And welcome back. There were talks of the local Premier League being played in a bubble if the new season got underway on its proposed starting date of November 14. But the cost that comes with such a venture, the Professional Football Jamaica Limited, JPPL, does not see the reason to house players. Simon Preston reports.
With the current community spread of COVID-19, many would believe the best practice for the Premier League would be a bubble if the health and safety of the players were to be taken into consideration. But that will not be the case. Instead, players will be asked to return home after matches and return on match days.
If we sit here and expect that we are going to be able to implement a bubble like they do in UEFA or in NBA, where all 12 teams are housed in a hotel away from their families for 7 months, we are being unrealistic.
According to JFPL board member Donovan White, bubble is a buzzword, and the most practical approach to take is to protect all stakeholders around the game.
But in the sense of what holes in first world societies that we see today happening, we could not even begin to think that we could afford that in this year with COVID. But even more importantly, you're talking about 7 months, 7.5 months of bubbling. That's not practical.
But the risk of having players going home could pose a serious problem for the league.
The risk is never going to go away once you have a pandemic, even in a bubble.
Yeah,
you see what happens in the professional
risk
sport.
of doing this.
I'm saying there's always going to be a risk once you're in a pandemic. There's always going to be a risk. And that's why the president has said where we have to figure out a way to do more testing if we have to. If the Ministry of Health feels that we are exposed, then we have to find a way to do that. But I don't think to send a message that we're going to operate a bubble in the truest sense of what we see playing out on television would not be accurate.
According to JFF President Michael Ricketts, there will be fines and punishment for clubs and players who fail to follow the COVID-19 protocols. Simon Preston reporting for TVJ Sports.